From the QA Archive. Introduction to QA. Why is QA necessary? Almost everyone has experience using a software system, probably every day. For example, they may use banking services, which in today's world could mean using a credit card to pay for something at a shop.
When a person drives a modern car, they interact with a software system. This is because most modern cars use software to control many operations from fuel or battery management, security and driving assists.
A large number of people use a computer, tablet or smartphone at work or home. This often involves the use of numerous operating systems and applications.
At some point, everyone has likely experienced a time when the software did not behave as expected. For most, this is merely an inconvenience. But for some, when the software does something unexpected, it can result in the loss of money, business reputation or even the loss of life.
By well-planned and well-executed software testing, we can reduce the risk of failures occurring during the operation of components and systems.
When any defects are discovered by testing, and subsequently fixed, then the level of quality is increased. In many cases, testing may be a requirement in order to meet contractual or legal requirements.
In 1980, NORAD reported that the U.S. was under missile attack. A faulty circuit caused the problem. This was a possibility the reporting software hadn't taken into account. In 1983, a Soviet satellite reported incoming U.S. missiles, but the officer in charge decided to follow his gut feeling that it was a false alarm and decided to do nothing.
Luckily, these false reports were never acted upon. If either government had launched a counterstrike, a full-blown nuclear war would have been a fact, and the world would have been a very different place today.
The hole in the ozone layer over Antarctica remained undetected for several years because, in its ozone layer mapping project, NASA used data analysis software whose design ignored values that deviated greatly from expected measurements. NASA launched the project in 1978, but the hole was not discovered until 1985, and it was not discovered by NASA. NASA didn't find the error until they reviewed their data, which indeed showed there was a big hole in the ozone layer.
From 1985 to 87, several patients received massive overdoses of radiation, a side effect of the buggy software powering the Theric 25 medical radiation therapy device. A number of patients received up to 100 times the intended dose, and at least 3 of them died as a direct result of the radiation overdose.
So to answer the question, do we need QA? Absolutely. If the software is the product of a business venture, then the business requires software testing to ensure that any problems are found before its release, thus preventing a negative impact on sales, which ultimately affect the entire business. Testing is required in some cases to prevent injury or even the loss of life. Although that is an extreme example, it's a perfectly valid one. This type of testing will have strict requirements to the type and amount of testing needed.
End of lesson.
Don't forget to subscribe.